In preparation for servicing, ensure that wheels are chocked, main and center gear have downlock pins, and static ground wires are installed on the main landing gears. At the nose gear, install downlock and steering bypass valve pins. The MD-11 pressure refueling defueling system is comprised of two adapters under each wing leading edge, approximately 15 feet or 4.6 meters outboard from the engine pylons. All adapters feed into a cross-feed manifold that is common to number 1 and 3 main tanks. Number 2 main tank, the center wing auxiliary tank, and the horizontal stabilizer trim tank. The refueling control panel is located with the two adapters on the right wing. There are no controls at the left wing position. Maximum required fuel pressure is 50 psi, plus or minus 5 psi. Fueling through two adapters provides a flow of 1,250 gallons, or 4,731 liters per minute. All four adapters permit a flow of 1,985 gallons, or 7,513 liters per minute. Remove equipment and personnel from under the wing fuel vents. Struts will compress during fueling. Remove equipment that could damage the aircraft. If necessary, drain any water from the 13 fuel tank sump drain valves. The number 1 outboard fuel sump, seen here, is located in the wing, just outboard of the fuel system vent opening. The number 3 outboard sump is located in the corresponding position on the right wing. These sumps are approximately 15 feet or 4.6 meters above the ramp level. With the sump drain valve tool in place, press upward on the valve. Hold and drain 1 gallon of fuel to remove any water, or until pure fuel appears. During icing conditions, it may be necessary to use hot air or a heat blanket to perform sump draining. Check to see that the drain valve closes properly. The number 1 and 2 sump drain valves are close together, inboard and above the left main gear forward wheels. The number 2 and 3 sumps are located in the corresponding position on the right wing. These sumps are approximately 10 feet or 3 meters above the ramp level. After draining, remove the tool and check the valve for leakage. 2 sump drain valves for the auxiliary tank are located on the bottom of the fuselage, one just forward of each left and right main gear wheel well. Drain these sumps as previously shown. The lower auxiliary tank sump drain is located on the fuselage lower surface, immediately forward of the centerline gear wheel well. Drain this sump in the same way as for the inboard and auxiliary tank sumps. The horizontal stabilizer tank drains are located on the left and right side lower surface at the inboard leading edge. Verify that the fuel supply equipment is grounded to the aircraft. Radio, radar, or other electronic equipment should not be operated during refueling. APU or external power should be used as necessary. If these are unavailable, battery power is automatically supplied. Remember, the pressure refueling control panel is located at the right wing fill adapter position. Check that all tank fill valve switches are in the closed position, and verify all valve lights are off. Plug a refueling nozzle grounding cable into the receptacle below the control panel. There must be a ground cable for each nozzle used. Now, connect a refueling nozzle to one fueling adapter at the control panel. Normally, 2 nozzles are used to provide a fuel flow of 1,250 gallons per minute. If a fuel flow of 1,985 gallons per minute is desired, the left wing pair adapters can be used in addition to the normal right wing pair. At the refueling control panel, move the power switch from normal to arm. Then release it to the normal position. The power on light should illuminate and remain on. Next, push the system test key to perform the fuel quantity built-in test. This will verify the digital drive and the entire fuel quantity indicating system. The display units for all tanks should move to 10,500. The quantity is in pounds. If the system is programmed for kilograms, this light would be illuminated. Should the situation arise, automatic refueling can be stopped at any time by pressing the Stop Fuel key or moving the power switch to the Disarm position. The first step in automatic refueling is to move the tank fill valve switches to Auto and enter the desired fuel load for each tank. Press the up arrow key until the selected quantity appears on the tank display unit. Repeat this procedure for all tanks. There must be at least 60,000 pounds or 27,200 kilograms of fuel in the wing tanks before the tail tank is refueled. This is because the center of gravity could move out of safe limits. During automatic or pre-selected refueling with the fill valve switches in the auto position, the fill valve of the tail tank will not open until the wing tanks contain the correct amount of fuel. With one or more of the fill valve switches in the open position and less than the correct amount of fuel in the main tanks, refueling of the tail tank will not be prevented. To completely refuel the tail tank, the horizontal stabilizer must be in the 3-degree aircraft nose-up position. Check to make sure that the marks align on the right stabilizer forward edge and fuselage. Hydraulic pressure may be necessary to move the horizontal stabilizer to the correct position. In the flight compartment, press the configuration page on the system's control panel on the center pedestal. You now see the position of the horizontal stabilizer on display unit number 4. Make sure the aircraft is as near to zero pitch and zero roll as possible. If you need to move the horizontal stabilizer to the correct position, the long trim handles on the forward pedestal control the hydraulic movement of the horizontal stabilizer. The hydraulic system is controlled by the hydraulic system control panel in the flight compartment. The horizontal stabilizer is now in the 3 degrees nose-up attitude required for refueling the tail tanks. Note, if the flight crew uses the flight deck refueling feature, the total fuel quantity is pre-selected through the Multifunction Control Display Unit, or MCDU. In this case, you will not be able to use the Wing Refueling Control Panel pre-select features. The Select line on all tank quantity display units will be blank. The upper and lower auxiliary tanks have individual control for their respective fill valves, and a single fuel quantity display unit totaling their quantities. The tail tank fill valve switch and tank display unit are separate. Open the fueling nozzle valve. Fuel pressure is required to test the fuel level shutoff and fill valves. Press the Start Fuel key. The valve open lights should illuminate within a few seconds and stay on. Move the fuel level shutoff test switch to the test position. Hold the switch in this position until the green fill valve open lights go off and stay off. The green fill valve open lights come on and refuel is continued. After the test switch is released, the lights should come back on within a few seconds and stay on. Since the fuel quantity has been pre-selected to less than maximum load, carefully monitor the fuel quantity indications against the pre-selected values. Fueling should automatically stop, and the valve should close when the quantities on the display units agree. If instead of a specific quantity, it is desired to put a full load in the tanks, the fill valve switches should be placed in the open position. The valves will close automatically when the respective tanks reach full capacity. The valve open lights should illuminate within a few seconds and stay on, and the automatic override warning light will come on, indicating that the fill valve open has been manually selected. Now hold the fuel level shutoff switch in its test position until all 6 valve open lights go off. There is normally a slight delay. After the test switch is released, the green fill valve open lights should come back on within a few seconds and stay on, and refueling is continued. At the completion of refueling, return all tank fill valve switches to their close position. Shut down the fueling supply pumps and close all nozzle valves in use. Move the power switch to the disarm position until the power on light goes off. Verify that the light stays off after the switch is released. Remove the fueling nozzle and disconnect the grounding cable. Secure all access doors and disconnect fueling equipment and aircraft static ground cables as applicable. This completes the normal pressure refueling procedure. An alternate procedure can be used for refueling any tank with a fill valve that does not open due to an electrical or mechanical malfunction. The fill valves for Tank 1, Tank 2, and Tank 3 are located on the front spar. The upper and lower aux are located in the center wheel well, and for the tail tank on the forward bulkhead of the horizontal stabilizer. The controls for manual opening of the fill valve are on the face of the valve controller, and a procedure placard is located adjacent to each valve. Periodically, it is advisable to use the fuel level indicator sticks to verify fuel quantities directly. These are dripless sticks which couple magnetically to floats that are free to move with the fuel level. All main tank sticks are readily accessible under the wing tank areas. The upper auxiliary tank stick is accessible through a quick opening door just forward of the right main gear wheel well. The lower auxiliary area to the left of the aircraft centerline. The tail tank sticks are located on the left lower horizontal stabilizer surface just aft of the leading edge. Accurate indicator stick readings require correction to the level attitude of the aircraft. The aircraft must be within plus or minus 3 degrees pitch and roll of level to get correct tank quantity readings from the fuel level indicator sticks. Use the inclinometer located in the right main wheel well to determine aircraft leveling. To read the fuel stick at each of the stick positions, push upward and turn the stick latch 90 degrees in either direction. This will release the stick from its locking cover. Give it a slight jerk to break the magnetic bond to the float, and pull the stick fully down. Gently raise the stick until the magnetic coupling re-engages with the float. Read the indication and note the value. Return the stick to its full up position. Then push in and turn 90 degrees to relock it in the housing. The upper auxiliary tank fuel indicator stick is different. The upper auxiliary tank upper compartment quantity is shown in the green band on the measuring stick. The lower compartment quantity of the upper auxiliary tank is shown in the yellow band on the measuring stick. With the stick at full extend, gently raise the stick until the magnetic coupling re-engages with the float. Continue raising the stick until the magnet engages the second float. If the reading is in the white band, pull down on the stick gently until the magnet re-engages the float. Normally, it is sufficient to check the 2 outboard sticks in each wing tank. 1 stick in the number 2 tank, previously shown, and both auxiliary tank sticks. The values obtained from the indicator sticks can now be interpreted by using the fuel stick correction factor charts in Chapter 12 of the Maintenance Manual. A fuel density correction may also be required. Return the sticks to their full up position and relock them. To correctly compute the fuel quantities taken from the sticks, press the density key and record the readings displayed on the tank indicators. When defueling is necessary, it can be selectively controlled from the Fuel System Control Panel using the tank pumps and/or transfer pumps in the auxiliary tanks. The system can be non-selectively defueled by applying suction to the refueling adapters and monitoring the quantities at the fuel system's control panel. The auxiliary tanks cannot be defueled by suction. With either method, 1 or more defueling nozzles must be connected, and all precautions and preparations accomplished as in refueling, including proper grounding. Pull down and lock the defueling check valve override handle. To prevent possible damage to the defueling check valve, the override handle should not be moved once the defueling procedure begins. Now open the refueling nozzle valve. With external or APU electrical power applied to the aircraft, verify that the refueling control panel power on light is off. Power on this panel will keep the fuel crossfeed valves closed. To defuel selectively from the flight compartment fuel system control panel, first press the Select Manual switch light. The amber manual selection will illuminate, and the tank boost pumps will come on. Now press the desired cross-feed switch lights. They will designate on when the valves open. To defuel all tanks, place the following pump switch lights in the on position. Transfer pumps 1, 2, and 3. Left and right auxiliary tank transfer pumps, and tail tank transfer pump. Turn off the tail tank alternate pump. When the amber low section of the switch lights illuminate, manually turn off the pumps with low fuel quantity. Alternately, the transfer pumps can be energized with the cross-feed valves open or closed. The auxiliary tank procedure remains the same as before. Continuously monitor the individual quantity indicators for the planned total fuel removal. Turn off the tank pumps and cross-feed valve for each tank as it reaches the desired fuel level. To defuel, but not selectively, apply suction from the ground service equipment to the refueling adapters, drawing fuel through the transfer pumps of tanks 1, 2, and 3 with the cross-feed valves closed. Check valves in the auxiliary tank systems will prevent suction defueling from these tanks. The defueling can be monitored but not controlled from the fuel system control panel in the flight compartment. Remove the defueling nozzle and the grounding cable. Close and secure the access door. This completes the procedures for refueling and defueling the MD-11.